Today I'm talking to Harold Walker, Junior Warden Extraordinaire. He handles the buildings and the grounds here at Shepherd of the Hills, among many other things. And there's a couple of questions that I've wanted to ask Harold about on his journey from becoming just a pew warmer to what he does now, all the things he does now.
Well, at the vestry retreat, before I get started on that, let me just say something about the Junior Warden Extraordinaire. I want to just say, when I took over Junior Warden, became the Junior Warden, took over sounds too strong. I just want to give a special thank you to Rudy and Bill Lovelace and Rich Allen, who really have all that history of what goes on at the church. And so long as we go along, and I couldn't know why we're doing this. Well, Rich would go, well, this was given by so and so, or this people did this, and Rudy helped me understand, helped me start doing the garden groomers, and Bill Lovelace, the history of he was a junior warden just before me. And so before I get too far along, I just want to say thank you to those three guys who really helped me become the understanding what's going on and be a good junior warden.
Thank you.
This is a great example to follow other junior wardens. So back to the pew warmer. So at the vestry retreat, Victor brought up that he was a pew warmer at one time, and that phrase hit me right between the eyes because I was a pew warmer. I used to go to church, sit there every Sunday, go out to lunch or breakfast afterwards, and go home, and it was just my day, right? So, and as time went by, suddenly I became an usher, right? And one of the things that we had to do at our other church was you had to get somebody to bring up the food basket, and the food basket would get heavy, and it's like every other Episcopal church. There's a lot of old people. You're asking people to do something, and so you kind of find out who your go-to people are, and the sad thing was I may ask them to carry the food basket this week. Well, they carried it last week when somebody else was ushering, right? But then you find out who your go-to people are in a church, and so ushering every few Sundays, and every once in a while reading, everyone would read, and then somehow or another I ended up on the vestry.
People, funny how that happens.
Funny how it happens. And then I'm a creative, active guy. Ellen knows that if I'm on a team, I'm going to be engaged. There's not going to be wonder what Harold's doing. Harold's going to be engaged. I was on a lot of teams at the power plant, all because I was the engaged, creative guy. And then that led me to be the senior warden, and then senior warden during the search process when Father Russ left. So. It's one of those things. Sometimes you just it kind of grows on you. Somebody just doesn't suddenly go from pew warmer to senior warden. It's a process, and it was one of the processes that I went through and really enjoyed doing that. And then I was also the junior warden for a while, and I have a maintenance background from the nuclear plant.
Well, then how did you make that transition? Once you recognized there was the need to step up a little from that place to where you are now. I mean, I know that you had mentioned taking a class that your daughter-in-law taught when you were at another church.
Right.
So how did that transition you to yet another place?
So she wasn't our daughter-in-law yet. She was Jonathan and her was dating. So, but she taught a class called Purpose-Driven Life, and it was by a book by Rick Warren. And it really challenged me to see where I was at and where I could be. I had a friend of mine tell me one day, he says, don't tell me what a man can do, tell me what a man will do. And at a stewardship talk one Sunday, we had a talk about the homeless. I stepped up with the homeless. We used to come to Saturday meals at the church, and kids started coming, and I met them and started having Sunday school. And then I started helping build a community center because I went a different way home from work. On Tuesdays, I went down what is now Three Sisters Springs Trail, was Cutler Spur then. Saw a concrete slab for the George Washington Carver Community Center. And in the fall of 2011, I volunteered to be the volunteer project manager. 5 years later, we got it built. And then it's just kind of escalated to things. And then, so it's really Julie getting me to go to that class, taking that class and just saying what was possible with my skills and expertise and the people I knew, the funds that Ellen and I are extremely blessed. I have a blessed family, so it just from that one class, a purpose, just the term, a purpose-driven life, type thing. So when I came here, after we've been here a year or so, or at least I guess to satisfy the requirements to be on the vestry, so would you be on the vestry? And I'm like, yeah. And then somebody said, well, how about being the junior warden? I can do that. And I only live 6 minutes away. Evan and I literally live 6 minutes away, so it's like quick to be here, right? So I drive by here all the time, and so when it comes to serving, you just don't know what skills that you may have, and until you're asked. I've seen it people before in church, they wouldn't do anything unless you asked them, and then once you asked them, you just unleashed a dynamo, right? But they literally saw that the Holy Spirit was asking them. If you asked them to do something, that the Holy Spirit was calling them to do it, and so that was their sign, like the comedian says, you're looking for a sign type thing. So our family, Ava sometimes acolytes when she comes, or Evelyn and I are active, and I just hope that people can use our example and find that purpose-driven life.
And it can be that very simple little act of just speaking to someone who has no idea how to get started.
Absolutely. From the people pulling weeds, the people mowing. Evelyn never uses ETR mower, and I need somebody to fill in and sit here practice on the flat ones, and off she goes. And I'm looking down the hill like, oh my God, she's gone past practicing to being a professional, type thing. So,
well, thanks for sharing that, Harold.